Welcome to Season 7 of the Excel Still More podcast. I am your host, Chris Emerson, and I am here to encourage you in your faith and help you strengthen your relationships. Today's episode is sponsored by the Cunningham Financial Group. John Cunningham can assist you in a wide variety of your financial planning needs. You can call him today at 205-326-7364. Thank you so much for listening in today. Let's get started. Good morning. Welcome to the program. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope things are going well for you, that you're seeing many blessings now in your life and hope for future things, and particularly in whatever season, which will be thematic today, of life that you are in. I hope you're learning to pick the fruit that is available and anticipate the harvest that is to come. Our title today comes from a song that I heard on the radio recently by a guy named Ben Rector called Living My Best Life. Very positive song, hopeful song. And right in the middle, he says, I'm learning how to eat the fruit that is in season. And as soon as I heard that, I pulled up my phone, went to the notes section, typed it in, and I told myself, I really need to revisit that because I'm intrigued by the idea not only of identifying the fruit of a particular season, but also the process of learning how to partake of it, which rightly indicates that this is something you have to learn to do, and you're far better off if you do. So several things to discuss today, and you'll be asked to really make application based on whatever particular, quote, season of life that you are in. But to get us moving in the proper direction, let's start by talking about the 4 seasons of the calendar year. I mean, I live in Texas. I don't think we have those, but in general, you get the point. There's spring and summer and fall and winter. And one thing is true about each and really inevitable about each, and that is they have their challenges. And sometimes we're really good at picking that out, the things that we don't like about a particular season. Let's start with winter, since it moves into January and February. Those are the toughest months for me every year. It's cold and it's dark, and to me, they're just really challenging to get through. And then we get to spring, and hopefully you love spring, but truthfully, there are challenges that come with springtime. I mean, you have allergy problems for a great many people, which I didn't have until recent years, and now I get it. That's really, really tough. School is really going strong for students, and rain and all those kinds of things, and there's plenty to dwell on negatively even in the springtime. We get to summer, and maybe we're like, man, there are all kinds of disruptions of schedule, and it's hot, and boy, we complain about the heat here pretty much all summer long. And then you get to fall and you go, oh, the days are getting shorter again and the weather's unpredictable, rain and cold, and things are moving in the wrong direction, and then you're back to winter. And those are all kind of true. And in your life, depending on what you do for work or school or where you live, you know that those things, each season, there's something to complain about. And here's the thing, everybody recognizes those. It's not like you can just say, you know what, this season, I'm just going to not recognize that exists. Or maybe this season, it won't exist at all. They are inevitable. The negatives are always going to be there. Whether you put heavy weight in them or not is up to you. But the fruit of each season, the blessings, the positive things to look at and recognize and be thankful for, they are always there as well, but sometimes they're easy to overlook. That's a choice that you make. In the wintertime, there's the holiday season, extra time with family, maybe, even though it's super dark outside, more time sitting indoors around the dinner table with people that you love. In the springtime, the sun comes out, there's new growth. Yeah, I know, we've got to mow all the time, but it's green and there's flowers, and there are a great many things that change and grow in spring, and we even get everything all kind of cleaned up and hopeful for the rest of the year. Summer, maybe you're off of work or school, and there's more adventure you can take, more travel you can do. It's hot, yeah, but not in the mornings and in the evenings too much. And there's sports with the kids or grandkids or kids from church and lots of things you can do. In the fall, it cools down. In Texas, October is our premier month. We show off in October just how good it can be. Yeah, the weather's kind of weird sometimes and it's windy, but boy, that change of season is really beautiful, isn't it? And then you're back around to winter again. And my point is, the negatives don't go away, but the fruit that's in that season that you can draw from and enjoy is there if you want it. One of the worst things we can do is only notice what we don't like and miss the way God and just the natural design of life has provided the sugar, fruit, and nourishment that we need to enjoy it. Sometimes we are focused on fruit, it's just past or future. It's not the fruit in its season. We're in springtime right now. If you're listening to this anytime around launch day, it's April. It's April whether you like it or not. Whatever's going on with school or work or the seasons or allergies, that's where we are. There is fruit here and now, great things to enjoy, like a cool, sunny morning with the green of the grass and the blue of the sky. But maybe you're someone who just cannot see the good in now, and so you wish that it was another season. You're going, man, I really miss the holidays. It's last season's fruit that really would help me out, which is unattainable in the moment. Even if you're somebody that still has your Christmas lights up and maybe turns them on at night when no one's looking, you can't get that season back until next time around. But we do that. We reach back, maybe a season, maybe a year, maybe a long time, and we wish it was like it was then, but it isn't. This is the season you're in. These are the fruit that are available to you. And then on the other hand, and I think really tying in on the figurative meaning of eating fruit in its season, is when we're looking to the future. The summer will be better. When I get there, here are a few good things that are going to happen. Or next fall, there's going to be this big change in my life, and boy, really things are going to super pay off and be good. And we anticipate future harvest that may not happen. I hope that it does happen for you, but it may not happen. So you're basing it on hopes that can give you some measure of peace, but part of you knows it's not certain anyway. Today's lesson is not about the hope that comes in Jesus, but that's something that maintains you always, that gets better with time no matter what. But we're talking about just the cadence of normal life. We get impatient. We want those things now, and we know we can't get them, so we cast our view forward, and what you find is you cannot draw nourishment from a harvest that has not yet been produced. Not in any way with true substance, or that'll genuinely help you in the moment. So here's the deal today. Figuratively speaking, learning to eat fruit in its season means embracing the natural timing of things in life, being patient, appreciating each phase or blessing when it comes, and not forcing what isn't yet ready. This can be things like patience and timing. Just like fruit tastes best in its season, some things in life, like love and success, healing or growth, are meant to be experienced at the right time. Trying to rush or skip ahead often leads to disappointment or frustration, especially if those things just aren't accessible to you in this moment and are going to take some time. Contentment and gratitude will be a big focus today. This is about being present and thankful for what you have now. Each season of life has its struggles. It also has the provisions of God and the natural cadence of life to make it amazing. I was thinking about raising kids. Each level of raising kids, I have 4 kids spread out from 12 to 24, and when they were coming up, there were unique challenges, economic challenges, family, the whole deal. But for each phase, there was something amazing about raising those kids, something really wonderful to enjoy, from the little smell of the top of their baby head to watching our kid hit his first T-ball inside the park homer. And we need to have gratitude for what's good now instead of always craving what's next. I remember as a young parent, I was like, man, when he's 4, it's really going to be something. And I missed, with my first 2 kids, some of that enjoyment of what is. There is beauty in each season. Some of this means trusting the process, and by that I mean you're still building something. You want things to go well later in the year, and you're laying some groundwork for that. Life is a process. Raising a family, growing in faith, all of it is. We must reflect that God is at work, and life is an unfolding journey. Some things can't be hurried. They ripen with time and experience, and they just take work. And then I think part of this is just wisdom and maturity. As you grow, hopefully you begin to understand, or like the song says, learn when something is truly good for you. You stop settling for unripe fruit. You stop looking for that immediate gain when it isn't right. And that's another aspect we haven't talked about here. Maybe I'm trying to deal with the challenges without any nourishment. Maybe I'm reaching to the future, to the past, or maybe I'm trying to get out of now what doesn't belong in the now. I think about that with relationships that aren't healthy, with jobs that seem to fit the bill for the moment, but are not good for you. We need to be careful about settling in the moment to get our hands on anything that can give us that shot of energy. Things that look good but aren't ready or aren't right yet or just aren't right at all. Life has this rhythm. True joy, peace, and fruitfulness come when you align yourself with that rhythm. I like the year. I've talked about it before. The spring, summer, fall, and winter, and the way things naturally change and move and how you have to adapt and find the best in each thing and plan for what's next. There's a rhythm to that, but there also is with the grand scope of life. From the early ages of spring to the robust ages of summer to the cooling, calming time of fall and even to the end in the winter. How do you best position yourself to get the best out of every period of life or every day? Well, here are a few things. We've mentioned them. I just want to put them in a little different wording and order today. Number one, gratitude and presence. You must enjoy the good that is now. When you're always chasing the next thing or lamenting the lost thing or substituting the inappropriate thing, you're missing the beauty of what is right here in front of you now that is good. That is good to God, that is good for you, and that is good for others. Fruit in season, proper fruit, is sweeter, more nourishing, perfectly satisfying. So is life when you stop rushing or reaching or compromising. You've heard me talk about this before, but in the Excel Still More 3-month journal, which I've been doing now for, 6 years or something, every single morning there's a paragraph called Level 3 Gratitude, and I choose something present, not something past or future, something that is right there in my life right then that I am thankful for. Some days are crazy stressful. Sometimes you're sick, sometimes you're doing your taxes, sometimes it's cold outside, but even on those mornings, I write down something or someone that is good that God has given me. That's level 1. Level 2 is attributing to Him praise and adoration for it. And level 3 is telling Him how I will live today because of it, or in a way that honors it. Sometimes we toss around this idea that, look, there's always something to be grateful for in the moment, and then we just kind of go on about our day. You have to actually find that thing, identify it, pray about it, and interact with it. Number 1 of this list we'll make on the back end is being grateful and present and enjoying the good of now. Secondly, there has to be this spiritual meaning where you are trusting God's timing. Part of what is happening when we're looking at our lives going, I don't like it right now, I don't like the way things are, and there's really nothing good and nothing to pick me up. There used to be, there might be in the future. You're telling God your plan is not working. What you're putting me through right now is unfair and untenable. And it refuses to acknowledge the fact that God is in control, that we live in the palm of His hand, and that in the natural world where we live, where He made us, there are some truths that we need to get. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, there's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. This metaphor fits perfectly. Just like God designed seasons for the earth, He designed seasons for your life. Sometimes it's time to plant, to work, and prepare. Other times you wait, patience, silence, hold. And then there's times of harvest, blessings, and breakthroughs. Eating fruit in its season means you trust Him enough not to pick what isn't ripe yet and not to focus on what you don't have. You acknowledge that He's with you. You count your many blessings, name them one by one, interact with them because you need that nourishment, and just see the wonderful things that God will do. So our first point in this final list is gratitude in the present. It's also trusting God and His process. Thirdly, we need to learn the value of peace over pressure. This is an emotional concept for you. Trying to eat fruit out of season could look like chasing after things before they're ready, forcing a relationship that just isn't at a place where it needs to be forced, whatever that relationship might be, rushing into a career path that you're not ready for, your family's not ready for, or just comparing your timeline to someone else's. All this does is it leads to emotional exhaustion. But when you learn to wait, you're choosing peace over pressure. You're saying, I'm okay with where I'm at. I know my time will come. The reason I add that is this. You don't have to have robust fruit harvests that you just happen to have been ignoring to get something out of this episode. We don't get to the end and you go, wow, I didn't realize there's so many amazing things in my life. There may be, there probably are, but even if there are fewer of those things to note right now, you just have to learn to wait. People can live on less and do fine until another season or time for harvest comes around. And what it does is it takes the pressure off and it turns it into peace. I will find peace in the life I have now, even, the Bible would say, taking some measure of joy in my struggles. It turns out, from God's perspective, there are things I don't need right now. Fruit that's not appropriate, or I wouldn't know what to do with now if He gave it to me. Instead, He wants me to be patient. He wants me to wait. He wants me to learn to live on less, perhaps, to learn to find that there's already plenty of good here that I keep reaching past. And what it does for you is it takes the pressure off of having to create an immediate harvest 10 minutes after this episode, and it just asks you to be at peace with where you are and to trust in what God is doing. Hopefully, point 4, it can help you understand what's not good for you. I'm afraid that in our time, maybe the American culture, the robust, prosperous time we live in, we think our hands and mouths need to be full all the time. We should always be getting something great. The harvest should be incredibly plentiful, which in the real world only happens during certain seasons, but for us, we want it to happen all the time. So we're reaching for anything we can get. Somebody comes out of this episode and goes, Chris is saying there's always some fruit around me. I just got to go grab everything. That is not the idea. The idea here is that you get wisdom to know what's good for you. Not having things is good for you if it's the Lord's will. Waiting for your work to pay off later is good for you if it's the Lord's will. And whatever beautiful people, beautiful blessings, great sustenance or health you have in your life right now is good for you. And you need to be able to embrace that with gratitude. But here's the thing about unripe fruit. It may look fine, but it's sour. It's hard. It can even be harmful to your body. It's the same with life choices. Growing in maturity says this isn't just about getting everything I can now. If it's too early, it won't work. This is about saying that opportunity looks great, but you know what? It's not for me right now. There are other things I need to work on or maybe even appreciate. If it's a relationship, that person seems amazing, but they're not ready, and maybe I'm not either. Speaking to our younger people, high school, college students, 20-something, picking someone to spend the rest of your life with is this beautiful, consistent harvest, but not if you force it. Not if you try to get too much too soon, or to speak in a Song of Solomon type of way, reach for fruit that you're just not ready for and that's not right by God for you to have. As we close here, let me give you one more thing. We started with gratitude in the now and the present, trusting in God's timing and work. We looked at being at peace instead of creating incredible pressure, the idea of identifying what's good for me in the now and being disciplined. And then lastly, I just want you to have some patience with other people. Do you know how hard it is? You do, don't you? To whatever season you're in, take all the elemental difficulties and challenges that you're facing and the yearly things that come around and try to see the good and stay calm. It's pretty tough, isn't it? Well, guess who else is dealing with that? Every single person everywhere. Well, maybe not everyone everywhere, but most of us in some way or another. So I want to ask you to be patient with others too. You know, they're trying to figure it all out as well. Sometimes we want people to grow faster than they're able to. We want them to be exactly where we are, even though oftentimes if it's our kids or something, we're asking them to skip a whole bunch of steps that we took and just be in our place, which may not be the best place to be anyway. In a relational way, eating fruit in its season means accepting people for where they are in their journey. Certainly there are positions that are unacceptable, like living in sin and defiance to God. But even that journey of realizing the power and need for God that leads to repentance, no, they're not where you want them to be. But they're not some fruit that you get to partake of anyway. They're souls that are being drawn closer to God. So help them and love them and let trust grow naturally and be patient and consistent. Just be mindful that everyone else is on a journey, and if we demand the results we want of them right here, right now, we can cut down the very trees we're trying to cultivate, and we end up applying standards upon others that we're not even able to bear ourselves. Look, you have to learn to trust God. You have to learn to choose peace over pressure. You have to learn to identify when it's not the right time for something that is tempting you. Just don't forget that so do I, and so does everyone in your life that you love. So there you go. The tough things of life, wherever you are right now, they're not going away. We always know they're there. For some reason, we can't seem to ignore them. But there are blessings in your life right now. Please don't forget to count them, and there's great anticipation for what is possible if you can learn to wait, start preparing for them. And don't forget that as a Christian, as someone who puts our hope in the power of the blood of Jesus, God is always working things towards good, and this thing's all going to end amazing for everyone in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. In the meantime, day to day, month to month, year to year, be mindful and wise to enjoy the proper fruit in its season. Thank you for joining in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment and share it with a friend. Speaking of friends, I just want to thank once again Tyler Cain and Statewide Mortgage for sponsoring this podcast. If you have any home mortgage needs, you can reach Tyler today at 813-380-8487. And always remember, whatever you do in the name of Jesus Christ, excel still more.